Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Gunatu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadidamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Hari Om. Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakarishu Sarvada Jana Kalyani Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Deva Brahma Vidvaram Sadhu.
We have Swami here today with us in the study group. So we are blessed to have welcome Swamiji. And Swamiji, as you know, this is our senior members have started in 1984. So this class has been happening in for the while in the hall. Now, for the last few years, it is happening in online only. Today, with your blessing, today we have come together. So, nice. And we are studying chapter 9 and 22 verse is completed. Fine. So we would like to get your blessings and talk on that. So till 8:30 and 8:30 to 9 we have that conversation. Fine. So good. Today, all the books are on electronic, right? Modes. So the classes happen on Zoom, so scriptures come into electronic mode. That's anyway. Good. We keep this in the shlokas. Right. So, first of all, it's most wonderful that there's a class which has been there from 1984. That's when. So, who all have been here from 84? Jairamji, of course. Amma, of course. None of us were. Acha. Okay, fine. So, how many of you are studying from the first chapter? Bhagavad Gita? From the first chapter, we've been studying. Okay, that's good. How do you want to approach the class? Do we want to approach it as a summary of the 9th chapter, or highlights of the 9th chapter, or question answers of the 9th chapter, or anything? How to apply the knowledge? Fine, okay. See, so first point, one should know about spirituality and about our culture. Fine. The entire way of living that all of us have, or all of us should have, should lead us to something, some attainment or some great achievement that has been pointed out in our culture. Fine. So the living in India or in Sanatana Dharma is not some accidental practices which just came about. Fine. The culture is called Sanskriti. That's what our culture is called, right? Sanskriti. Kriti itself means created. Right? So created means what? It is not accidental. It is intentionally created. Fine. Created by whom? It was created by our rishis. Fine. So created for what? To achieve something great, which has been pointed out in the Vedas. Right? So the system of living and the practices is called culture. So the culture has been first point created, Kriti it is, and well created, So it is Samskriti. Fine. So what is naturally existing is called Prakriti. Fine. But what is naturally existing, when it decays, it is called Vikriti. And when it is beautified and made amazing, it is called Samskriti. So intentionally created, molded in such a way that it can bring the best out of us. So the very, very, very intentionally, very thoughtfully created program, Samskriti. So the Samskriti has to have a basis. So any practice should have a theoretical base. So the theoretical base is for us, for our Sanatana Dharma culture, Sanatana culture, is the Vedas. So that's why we are all called Vedic culture. Fine? So the Vedas are the basis for us. Because it is created by the rishis, it is also called Rishi culture. Fine? So, what does the Vedas tell us? That's a question. Fine? What the Vedas tell us, the ultimate statements of the Vedas are called Mahavakyas, the great statements. So, the great statements are the final import of the Vedas. So, what is the great statement? It says Tattvamasi. Correct? So, who are you? I am that. Aham Brahmasmi is the truth. Today, what do we feel? Correct? So, from whatever state I feel today, as a limited individual, as the person who has no power, as the person who feels what you wanting, etc., etc., from there to go to the infinite state is the journey. So, what helps us in that journey are the practices that we do, which is the culture. Fine. So, what do we have? We have culture at the final root of it. The highest being the philosophy, which is called the Vedas, the Vedic philosophy. Okay. So now that Vedic philosophy has to be translated into certain practices and certain kinds of understanding in our own level. So that is called religion. Fine. Philosophy we have, that philosophy translated into living program is called religion. So as the philosophy, so the religion. This we should understand. Okay. So in Sanatana Dharma, in the religion that we follow, we worship everything. Everything is worshipable. Why is everything worshipable? It is good. Exactly. So in the 9th chapter it is said, Maya tatamidam sarvam. Correct or not? So we worship not the things, but we worship that which sustains everything. We worship the God in everybody. We don't worship everybody. Correct or not? We worship the godliness in everybody. Right? Why do we do? Why do we worship trees? We worship trees because there is Bhagavan in that tree. We worship the mother because there is Bhagavan in the mother. We worship the father, we worship the guru, we worship the woman, we worship the men because there is Bhagavan in that. And every animal is assigned to some devata. Correct? Even the moshak is worshipped. Right? Even a mouse, even a snake is worshipped. Why? Bhagavan is there. That is how it is. So the Vedic philosophy, because the philosophy says that, our religion follows that. Understood? Second point. How many gods do we have?
God, many times.
One God, many forms. Ekameva Advitiyam Brahma. The truth is one. That is understood. However, another statement says Ekam Sat Vipraha Bahudha Vadanti. The truth is one. However, it has been expressed, it has been told in many different forms. Truth is one, and the truth can be attained, can be approached also in many different forms. So we have one truth. That truth expresses in many ways. That truth can be attained through many different paths. That's what is the philosophy. So what does the religion say? How many gods can you have? When the population was 30 crores, they said 30 crore gods. Today's population in India is 140 crores. So how many gods do we have? Each person one god. Because divinity is present in each of us, right? And each of our minds are different. So therefore, you can approach God in the way you want to approach. And Bhagavan will respond. Swamiji, how is that possible? One mother, one father, 3 children. Do all the 3 children approach the mother and father the same way? They don't, right? So each child, according to what they are, they see the mother and father that way, and they approach the mother and father that way. How do you respond? Do you respond the same to all the children? No. As the child approaches, so the response. Correct or not? Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam tathaiva bhajamyam. The way we approach Bhagavan, Bhagavan responds to them. But Bhagavan will respond. That is the whole point. So therefore, the religion has many paths, and the religion can accommodate many gods. So we don't have problem with so many gods. Because there is absolute understanding which is from the Vedas. Fine. If the philosophy is accommodative and understanding, then the religion will be accommodative and understanding. If the philosophy is unaccommodative, then the religion also has to be unaccommodative. Understood? This is how it is. Third one. From the philosophy, we have religion. From the religion, we have what is called customs and traditions. Fine? Philosophy. From philosophy, we have religion. From religion, we have customs and traditions. Customs and traditions, sampradaya. Sampradaya practices. Fine? So, these practices has to be in tune with the religion, has to be in tune with the philosophy. Okay? So, let's take one tradition, one custom we'll take. Fine? Namkaran. Naming ceremony. Okay? So, how many of you here have God's names? God's names. Name?
Subramanian.
Subramanian. Lord Kartikeya's name. Vishwanath. Vishwanath. From Tirupati Balaji to Kailasa. Both are called Vishwanath. Right? Yes.
Bhuvan.
Bhuvan. Bhuvan is earth. And which Bhagwan is Bhuvan?
One is over for Bhuvan.
Tribhuvan. Yes. Ladies, no, you don't have. Oh. Amma name is Sampada. Sampada is Durga or Mother Lakshmi. Sampat. Sampat.
Ramanji is real.
Ramanji. Yes, Shri Ram. That's his name. My question is, are you Subramanya? You're not, right? Where is your veil?
Yeah. Where is the Vahan?
Correct? Where is your Vahan? Right? So how can you be named Subramanya? If you're not Ram, are you Ram or are you Vishwanath? Then how can you be named Vishwanath? That becomes the question. And the answer is yes, you are Subramanya. Why? Tattvamasi. You are that. Our culture and our philosophy is bold enough to say you are Bhagavan. That is what you are. So, in order to remind us that the goal of your life, the highest goal of your life, is to realize your divinity, the tradition, the sampradaya, is to give us the names of Bhagavans. So, every day we are told you are Ram. Don't behave like Ravan. You're Vishwanath, you are. Don't feel small. You're the Lord of the entire universe. Just today we talk about positive affirmations, positive affirmations. What better affirmation do I need than to remind myself I am Vishwanath? Am I small? I am the biggest. And that is what I truly am. I am Subramanya. Subramanya is the army commander of the gods. What more power do I need? To remind us, we have the practices, which is called sampradaya, which is called customs, which is called traditions. And that follows from the Vedas. If you are not Bhagavan, if you are separate and Bhagavan is separate, and if you cannot be Bhagavan, you cannot have God's names. Understood? That is how the custom. So you see, you have the philosophy. From the philosophy, we have the religion. From the religion, we have the customs and traditions. All of them put together is called culture, which is called Sanskriti. So, which means the way we live our life has to lead us to the attainment of the promises of the great culture. So, people who have been living this kind of a culture, that becomes what is called civilization. It is called Bharatiya civilization. And we had attained our greatness when we followed it. So, this knowledge was given to everybody like a practice. So, people used to practice it all the time. Because people used to practice it all the time, they became people of achievement and people of great potential. So when people of great potential are present, they manifest their potential. Such a civilization can only produce greatness. So people are made great. Great people manifest greatness. That society or that civilization presents greatness to the entire world. That is how our civilization was great. Right? So just look at what we have produced in our civilization, what we have produced. When mankind was not even a society in other places, we had the Vedas, we had architecture, we had Dhanur Veda, the science of warfare. And the science of warfare was ethical warfare. Right? Today we have the rules of warfare which we talk about all over the world, which nobody follows. Right? But we had ethical warfare. And in that, so many rules were there. You can only fight from morning to evening. So to fight is your job. Right? You're fighting without the feeling of anger and enmity. Yeah, there is a fight, we will fight. But it's a profession. In Mahabharata, they had a common kitchen. Pandavas and Kauravas had a common kitchen, no separate kitchen. So morning to evening fight and then go and eat food together. Tomorrow let us see. Right? You cannot touch agricultural fields. Rules of warfare. You cannot touch agricultural fields. You cannot touch the common man. Cannot be touched. I have the profession of being a warrior. You have the profession of being a warrior. Both of us fight. You can't touch. See, even warfare, which was the highest of animosity, had rules to follow. That is the height of civilization. Just imagine. So when the civilization becomes great, then greatness is produced in those people. That is how we contributed in all the fields, and the ultimate field is spirituality also. So the point is, our study class is for practice. So to understand the practice, we are studying. Fine? This is most important. So when we come to a class, what is most important is, what do I take back and what do I practice? So each practice will make us become something different, become something different, become something different. That is the whole purpose of a study class. So from the study class, if I don't get something today, I should not leave the class. Tell me, what do I do today? This is the philosophy, this is the theory. How do I make it practical? Because the entire instruction is to make it practical. That is the instruction. So every verse, every chapter, every concept, let us see how I can actually practice it. That is the whole idea. Fine? So this is the basis. Right? From philosophy, religion. From religion, customs and traditions. From customs and traditions, we have the culture. Okay? So when we see the verses, the first 3 verses talk about the quality of the student and the greatness of knowledge. So Krishna tells to Arjuna, hey Arjuna, idam guhyatamam jnanam, this great jnanam, pravakshyami, I am telling you. Why am I telling you? Because you are anasuyu. Anasuyu you are. Anasuyu, you are free from jealousy. You don't have jealousy. Fine. So what is the definition of anasuyu? Definition of anasuyu is guneshu asuyu. Definition of jealousy is guneshu dosha darshanam. So what does jealousy do? Jealousy finds fault in wonderful and great things. Right? Let's say you have achieved a great award. And let's say I am jealous of you. So what will I do? Yeah, he got that award, but maybe he paid something and he got it. How terrible. That is called jealousy. So what is it? Guneshu dosha darshanam. So what happens is, I will never imbibe anything wonderful and great from somebody else. Never can I take. So which means the student is never open to absorb anything which is wonderful. So the student is what? Completely closed, and the student wants to establish only their supremacy over anybody. Such a person cannot be a student. So what is our practice? Practice is to become anasuyu. To see greatness and recognize greatness in everybody and everything, and to absorb it. This is our practice. So what do I do? See, sometimes Bhagavad Gita may look like a Balvihar class. Right? But in the scriptures it is said we are all balas only. Balanam sukhabodhaya tattvabodha abhidiyate atmabodha abhidiyate. So we are all what children when it comes to the Shastras. So therefore, what do we do? What is the practice that I can observe? So one practice that is mentioned is wherever we go, whatever we see the greatness there. And not only see the greatness there, absorb that greatness. That greatness has to become part of us. How is that they achieve this? How is that they do it so well? And how can I do it equally well? Such a person is called Anasuyu. Duryodhan was Asuyu. He saw Sri Krishna in the Vishwarupa. When Krishna went for the peace, the ultimate, what do we call that, peace negotiation. Krishna went and Duryodhan said, he is whatever, he is hiding. Krishna showed the Vishwarupa darshan. Duryodhan saw it. And he said, do you think I will fall for all your magic and illusion? Arrest Krishna and put him inside. Vishwarupa he saw. And yet he couldn't recognize the greatness of Bhagavan. This is called Asuyu. And here we have Arjuna, who is Anasuyu. So beautiful. In the 4th chapter, Sri Krishna says, this knowledge, I taught this knowledge to Lord Son. Fine. Vivaswan manave praha. Vivaswan taught it to Manu. Manu ikshvakave bravit. Manu taught to Ikshvaku. This knowledge came, parampara, it came. So Arjuna is asking, very wonderful. Krishna, very, very beautiful. What? You are sitting here. Right? I am also sitting here only. What is most amazing is both of us are the same age. Both of us are the same age. And what is that? You taught to Lord Son. Agreed, Lord Son is there even today. But Manu was born and he died long back. And you are saying you taught to Manu. He's saying, how can that be? But the most beautiful thing, what he says, he's asking a question to Krishna. He doesn't say, don't bluff. Okay? Simply don't tell me all these things. How can it be true? No, he doesn't say that. He asks the question, hey Krishna, how am I to understand it? It's completely different. He's saying, what you're telling is true. I accept that. But I am unable to understand. So please explain to me how I can understand. Look at that humility. This is how the student has to be. So this is an Anasuyu student and Duryodhan is a Asuyu student. Just one part if we take, we will understand. Second, in the same set, it is said Ashraddadana Purushaha. So those people who do not have faith, those people cannot understand this. Ashraddadana Purushaha dharmasya asya parantapa aprapyamam nivartante mrityu samsara vartmani. So those people who don't have Shraddha in the Dharma, those people will never attain it. That is the point. So, what am I to have? I am supposed to have Shraddha. I am supposed to have faith. In what? In the Dharma. So, this knowledge is called Dharma. That is what this knowledge is called. Okay? 2 questions. What is Dharma? How do we understand Dharma? Second, what is Shraddha? So, what is Dharma? Meaning of dharma. Dharyate anena iti dharma. So that by which anything is sustained as itself is called its dharma. Fine. Example, there is a car. C-A-R, car. If the car has to remain as a car, so there are certain principles underlying the car to exist as a car. That is called its dharma. Understood? If the dharma of the car is not followed, the car can become bekar. Okay? Or the car can become a cart. It will not remain a car. Why? Because either I did not know the dharma of that car, or I did not follow the dharma of that car. Second, in using the car, I also need to know the dharma of driving. How to put it into use, and I should know the rules of traffic also. So there is a rule of traffic, there is the rule of driving, and there is the principle of the maintenance and the existence of the car. So these three are called its dharma. Understood? Life has its dharma. A relationship has its dharma. Something very interesting is every relationship has its dharma. Right? Husband-wife relationship has its dharma, which is different from parent-child relationship dharma. You cannot apply the same dharma to both the relationships. It will become a mess. Sometimes husband-wives deal with each other as parent-child. You listen to me, I don't listen to you. That is not the dharma of that relationship. Right? And equal partnership is not the relationship in parent-child. So people sometimes want to follow equal relationship in parent-child and parent-child relationship in husband and wife. Problem. You see, this is called dharma. It is not some fanciful, some idea, some utopian concept somewhere. It is a very practical concept. The body has its dharma. Is it not? Body has its dharma. Right? If the dharma of the body is not followed, then it causes disease. So when dharma is not, something is followed. In life, we cannot sit simply. So either we are living dharma or we are living adharma. So what is adharma? Adharma means not practicing that dharma is called adharma. That's all. It's not something extremely complicated. Very practical and very simple. So the body has its dharma. And our scriptures and the entire principle is not authoritative, it is prescriptive. You have your choice. You do what you want. It is prescriptive. You follow the dharma, you will get its benefit. You don't follow the dharma, then you are following adharma, you will get its repercussions. That's all. Correct? Gurudev used to say very, very interestingly, when people lived properly in their social relationships, things were fine. When people messed up their social relationships, God came with an aid. Everybody, Disease are the manifestation of adharma. Traffic jam is a manifestation because some people did not follow the traffic. That's all. They didn't follow the traffic rules. Problem in a company is because the dharma of the company were not followed by certain people. And those people suffer as a result of it, and many others also suffer as a result of it, because adharma is not a manifestation of one person. Adharma is a manifestation of that person plus the environment. Both have to happen. Only then adharma also can happen. So too dharma. Because we live as a collective. Now, the entire point is, I do not know the science of medicine. I don't know the science of medicine. But people who know the science of medicine have told me, this is what you should eat, this is what you should practice, this is how you should live. For example, let us say I have a headache. Fine. So I take a paracetamol. Do we take a paracetamol for headache? What do we take for headache? Brufen or a painkiller we take for headache. Do you have to know how that painkiller works on the headache? Do you have to know? Do you have to know? You only have to know, for my headache, I take this medicine, my headache will go. That's all you have to know. You take the medicine, you don't know how it works, but the medicine works, right? So the scientist has to know how it works. I don't have to know how it works, but it will work. If you want to know, you study. It is available to study, but you don't have to know. So what the rishis did was, rishis understood the dharma. The rishis gave us the prescription. This is how to live. Every morning, practice japa. You practice, no? Why practice? How much time practice? When to practice? What? It is all described. It is all prescribed to us. You just practice. You will see the benefit. To drive a car, do you need to know the technology behind the car? You don't need to. How does the engine convert the fuel into energy, and how does it get channelized into the rotation of the wheels? Do you have to be an automobile engineer? Not required. We are using the phone. Do we have any idea on what is the technology of the phone? We have no idea. And you don't need to have the idea. Not required. Fine. They have given us what? They have given us what is called a user manual. You just follow the user manual. Fine. In that they have described what wattage of power you have to connect to that device to charge it. Correct? You connect that wattage of why? I have my freedom. It is my phone, it is my house, it is my electricity. You charge. Understood? What will happen after that will be light and smoke. Once and finished. Right? But that is its dharma. That is its dharma. I have the freedom. I have the, what do we call that? Opportunity to learn the technology. You want to learn the technology, go study it. Go study the electronic engineering. It is available. And then you want to, acha, I have to use this wattage of power to charge my phone. Study for 5 years and come to understand it. You are welcome to do it. But you don't have to. Why? We have been given user manual. You use the phone. Understood? Like that, what do we need to have there? We need to have Shraddha. Shraddha on what? On the user manual. Understood? We should have Shraddha. Same way, the Bhagavad Gita is the user manual. So once we follow that user manual, we will reach the philosophy and the understanding. That will happen. Today we have that most wonderful auntie who gives us directions. Correct? What is that? Google Map. And she says, in 150 meters, take left, right? Drive down, take a U-turn sometimes. I came so far, now you are telling me take U-turn. Why? She knows. So what am I supposed to have? Shraddha. Just day before yesterday, I had gone to see an auditorium in the IIT campus. Fine. We are building an auditorium, so we wanted to see the design and all that. So we went to that auditorium. So in the car, we were 4 people. Shanti Amma, Shanti Krishna Murthy, myself, and 2 others. So among the 2 others, one of them had the GPS. The other one had the idea, I know it all. Fine. So this person who had the GPS had spoken to the person who was to meet us there, the sound engineer. So the sound engineer said, IIT auditorium, you come to IIT and we will see. So this person typed Google Map IIT auditorium. Fine. So it was showing one particular way. But you have to go to IIT auditorium, you have to go to IIT. So we went to IIT, entered the campus, then it is showing 17 minutes. 17 minutes in a car inside the campus to go to. So this person who's got the phone, he's telling, it's saying turn this way, turn that way, turn this way. I know it all. He's telling, I know the IIT campus, don't worry about it. You go straight. No, it is telling turn right. You go straight. There is a junction from that's where we have to turn. We went to all these places. Finally, we were not able to find this auditorium. Right? And this Google map was telling turn, turn, turn. That lady is saying turn, turn. And when we turned and came, we came to main entrance. Google map is wrong. I know it all is saying Google map is wrong. This person is saying, but that's what this is telling. Ultimately, we found that the IIT's auditorium is outside IIT campus. Right. So Google Map is correct. But we did not have Shraddha on it. That is all. So what is told, even in the Gita and in our Shastras and even life, is Apaurushaya. Apaurushaya beyond our limited mental capacities and understanding. How can I believe that I am the Atma? Very difficult. I am immortal. Is it possible? We don't have that feeling. So what do we need to have? We need to have Shraddha. The practice of it will give us the understanding. So Ashraddha Dana Purushaha. So that person, dharmasya of this dharma, they will not have belief. So if they don't have belief, they will not practice. If they don't practice, they will not have the result. That's all. Aprapya, not attaining me, mam nivartante. Without attaining me, they go back. Mrityu samsara vartamani. They go back into the cycle of samsara. So this is exactly translated in my day before yesterday's experience. Aprapya, without reaching the auditorium, one goes back and goes round and round. Mrityu samsara vartamani. Wastefully spending their time and energy and fuel. Correct or not? How practical. So what do we need to know in our lives? I mean, I'm just talking about the first three verses. What do we need to know in our life? We need to know in our life that I have to practice dharma. So whatever is the role in my life, what do I need to do? I need to practice the dharma. Fine. Dharma should not be compromised for me. I should rise up to live up to the dharma. I have a powerful car. Fine. So that does not mean I drive at a high speed. So the speed has been mentioned according to the dharma. You reduce your speed, going too fast. Understood? I have a car which is slow. But here the prescribed speed is so much. Either you raise your speed or you drive in that other lane, which says that is your correct. What is prescribed? Do that. So in our life, let us try to determine what is the dharma for each role.
How do we know that is our dharma?
Shastra has told you.
Because many times we are at crossroads, we don't understand what is right and what is wrong.
Shastra has told it. So, let's say householders, fine. The dharma of the householder has been told. The dharma of relationship has been prescribed in our Shastra. For example, I'll tell you one example. Mahabharata is so interesting. Mahabharata. In that, there is a parva called Vana Parva. The time of the forest. So the Pandavas are in the forest. Fine. One was there. So Krishna and Rukmani come to meet Pandavas in the forest. You will be stunned at the conversation. Okay. So Krishna, just as we do today, the men go with the men, the women are with the women. Okay. So Krishna goes with the Pandavas, he's talking his stuff. Rukmani is talking to Draupadi. Okay. And you know what is their conversation? The conversation is, Rukmani is telling, I have one husband. And to handle him is difficult. You have 5. How are you having them as if tied to your finger? This is the question he is asking. Rukmani is asking Draupadi. And then Draupadi is answering how she gets all her husbands to listen to her. Interesting or not? See, imagine such a conversation has been recorded and written down, documented in the Mahabharata. Why should they have it? And Draupadi is replying to Rukmani. This is how my husbands are tied to my finger, so to say. And she answers, and in that she starts with saying, some people use black magic to control their husbands. Some people use certain kinds of drugs to control their husbands. All of that will lead to the destruction of the family and the relationship. She starts with that. So all this is not a new thing, okay? Draupadi is mentioning it. And then she says, what is the principle upon which she has the husbands with her? Draupadi is no ordinary lady. She says, without me, they cannot do anything. That's all. As simple as that. Without phone, can you do anything today? Now it is Wi-Fi. That time it was Wi-Fi. The more you become of service, the more you make them dependent on you. So Guruji wrote the book, Serve to Deserve. So she says, before my husbands come, when I see them approaching, I rise from my seat and I welcome them. I serve. My husbands don't have time on how to spend their money. They earn and I decide how to spend. She says, every day, we feed 1 lakh Brahmins. She's giving certain instances, examples. Every day we feed 1 lakh Brahmins, for which we need 15,000 people who will serve. Ladies are there, they will serve food. She says, I know each of those 15,000 maids by name and by face. What is Draupadi? 15,000 people, she knows the name and she knows them by face. Pandavas don't know. Pandavas know, they give the money, bye-bye. I am going back for my work. She handles things. She was the finance minister of the... See, this is the dharma. It is mentioned. What I am saying is we have to study. Right? What is the constitution of Dubai? It is written down. So study. Right? And once you study, follow it. It is all given. It is there in the Shastra. Today it is available on Anukoolananda also. So you just have to read it and follow it. The point is, 7th chapter says, Tasmat Shastram Pramanam De. The Shastra is your guide, is your standard of living. Shastra is the standard. In Dubai, the constitution of Dubai is the standard. In India, the constitution of India is the standard.
Swami, there are so many scriptures and books to read. So, how do we know the concept we should do, or we should just go to Bhagavad Gita and refer?
You take one text which your tradition has told you. For some people, it has been Ramcharitamanas. You take Ramcharitamanas. You don't have to read all the texts. Because something so amazing is all the texts have spoken about the same dharma. That is what is most amazing. What Tulsidas ji has said, Valmiki ji has said that in Ramayana. Vyas Bhagavan had said the same thing in Mahabharata. Fine. Part of Mahabharata is Draupadi's discussion, which is also the same concept, which Sri Krishna tells in the Bhagavad Gita. That is also the same concept. So you don't have to study all the text. Thank God. You study one. So that is why in life it is said, one Shastra you practice. Make that Shastra, you become an expert in that Shastra and live that Shastra. then you are taken care of. Fine? That's what we need to do. So I'm just talking about 3 verses. Huh? Just the first 3 verses, which is the qualification. After that, only text starts. So this, what is that? There's some. ये तो ट्रेलर था. Picture अभी बाकी है. But that is what I'm trying to show is that there is nothing which is impractical in the verses of the Gita. Something impractical is never spoken of. It's never spoken of. Things can be practiced at all levels, it can be practiced. So Bhagavan says in the next 3 verses, 4, 5, and 6, explains the highest truth. 3 levels he explains. Fine. Bhagavan says, Raj Guhyam. It is the greatest secret. Fine. So you have, in any language, you've got 3 levels. One is called normal. Second one is called comparative. Third one is called superlative. Fine. So you have Guhya. Guhya means what? Secret. Guhya Tara. Secreter. I mean, if you want to use the word. Guhya Tama. Most secretive. You got the 3 levels. So when you approach the Bhagavad Gita 9th chapter, try to study it in this way. What is secret? What is more secretive? And what is the highest secret? So that is given in the 4, 5, and 6, because in the beginning itself the teaching has to be done. So first secret is what? Maya tatam idam sarvam. Sarvam, everything, sarvam. Which sarvam? Idam sarvam. Idam means what? This. Whatever you can refer to as this, idantaya. Whatever you can refer to as this is pervaded by me. Fine. But I don't see you. So what is it that we call as this? What is it that we call as this? Anything we can recognize with our eyes, with our ears, with our nose, with our tongue, with our skin, with our senses, it is called idam. So which means anything which has a form, anything which is perceptible by my senses is called idam. So anything which has a property is called idam. Okay. Why am I saying idam? I'm hearing from 2 places. Okay. Thank you, Jairamji. Okay. Idam. So this table is idam. Why? It has got a physical form with which I can see it. Correct? Many different forms are there. Visual form. I'm speaking, you're hearing with your ears. So the sound is called auditory form. Correct? So there are different forms. According to the senses, there are 5 different forms. I eat a sweet, or let's say I touch this cloth. Fine. I'm not seeing it. I'm not hearing it, but it got tactile form. Correct? So form is called murti. Okay? Form is called murti. But Bhagavan says, all the murtis that are there, I pervade all the murtis. So if you are there in all the murtis, why can't I see you? Bhagavan says, Avyakta Murtina. I pervade all the forms in the unperceptible form. Murtis are perceptible, but I who am present in them are unperceptible. So don't ask, why can't I see God? You cannot see God. Why? You are using the wrong instruments. Right? You are using the wrong instruments. Fine? Instruments that are used to know the idam, to know the murtis, cannot be used to know the one that is amurti, which is not a form, which is not limited. That is the description. So Bhagavan is there in everything, but not in a way that I can see it. However, everything exists because of that unperceptible truth. Apply it in physics. Right? According to carpenter, this is a table. Right? Made of wood. According to Einstein, what is this? According to Einstein, no, it is energy. E is equal to mc square. Mc square is equal to E. Interchangeable. Form is visible to the eye, but can you see energy? Energy is not visible to the eye. Avyakta Murti. Correct? At this level, okay? Don't stretch the example. Okay? Because then we will say, Swami Anukoolananda said that Bhagavan is equal to energy. Of course not. Okay. But you see, energy is there. It is the energy which is sustaining this object to remain as the object. But energy is not seen. Form is seen. That's all. Remove the energy. Can the matter exist? Matter is nothing but energy in a different form. Correct? So Bhagavan says, I am that supreme, sustaining, underlying principle upon which everything exists. This is only Guhya. This is secret. This is not highest. Okay? Maya tatamidam sarvam avyakta murtina. Matsthani sarvani bhutani. Everything exists on me, based on me, only based on energy. The entire world of matter exists. And please remember, when we study astronomy, what is this matter? Itself is unbelievable. In terms of distances, that the gross universe itself is unfathomable. It is so huge. You should invite somebody who studies astronomy to talk to us about distances. Unbelievable. How many millions and trillions of stars we have? We have one star, which is an average size star, not even a big star. In that planets, in the planet, we are in one place. In that one place also, we are sitting in one corner of that place, not occupying. What is that Bhagavan? That infinite Bhagavan is the foundation for everything in this universe. How great Bhagavan is. Avyakta Murtina, Matthani Sarvani Bhutani. Second point, nacha aham teshu avasthitah. That is guhyatara. Guhyatara. First one is guhya. Everything is in me is guhya. I am not in everything is guhyatara. Guhyatara means little greater. As Gurudev used to say, they are in me. Second point, I am not in them. That is guhyatara. How many people ask the question? See, Bhagavan is totality. We are all individuality. So, all the individuality put together is called totality. Correct? I am an individual miserable creature. Like that, many individual miserable creatures, all the miserable individual creatures put together will make it a total huge miserable creature. Correct or not? Because we say totality is a summation of its parts. Right? I am one depressed individual. Okay? So all the depressed individuals put together will make a huge depressed Bhagavan. Correct or not? We are all little bad people. All the bad people put together will make Bhagavan completely bad. Correct or not? However, that is not the fact. So what is the fact? Fact is, totality is not the summation of the individual expressed parts. Let me give you an example. Ocean is there. Ocean has waves. Correct? Can we ever say all the waves put together the ocean? We cannot say. So the waves are there in the ocean only at the surface. The ocean is so much more, so much vast. Even in the ocean, the waves are present only 200 meters into the ocean, near the shore. Go deeper, then there are no waves. Correct? Can we say that the waves, summation of the waves is the ocean? Expression is a minuscule part of the total infinite. Correct? The greatness and grandeur of that Bhagavan, we have to see a small vibration of that infinite is this finite which looks infinite to us. So what must be that infinity? So amazing. Is the ocean dependent on the waves? The waves are dependent on the ocean. Correct? That is Bhagavan. We are trying to understand Bhagavan. So Bhagavan is not dependent on the world. The world is dependent on Bhagavan. Second level. Third level. So first one, they are in me. I am not in them. Second level, I am not in them. The waves are in the ocean. The ocean is not dependent on the waves. Guhyatama. Guhyatama, highest secret. What is that? They are also not in me. Highest level. So first level, waves are in the ocean. Second level, ocean is not in the waves. Third level, waves are not in the ocean. Once again, waves are in the ocean, first level. Ocean is not in the waves, second level. Third level, waves also are not in the ocean. That is the Guhyatama. So what does it mean? The first two talk about two entities, ocean and waves, as if they are two separate entities. So we say waves in the ocean and we say ocean in the waves. Third level is Bhagavan is saying, what are the waves? Water. What is the ocean? Water. Can we ever say water is in the water? We cannot say. It's meaningless. So water is not in the water. The waves are not in the ocean because there is only one, that is Guhyatama. So what is said there? Tat Tvam Asi. So there is no matter and energy. Right? So convert this into that formula. Matter is in energy. Energy is not in matter, which means energy is not dependent on matter. Minuscule part of energy has manifested in the form of matter. So matter is in energy. Energy is not in matter. And third state is, what is the matter? Literally also, it doesn't matter because there is only energy. Ekameva Advitiyam Brahma. That is the highest. This is the, what do we call that? Samashti. This is the totality. Bring it to the Vyashti. Bring it to my life. Amazing. They are in me. Who am I? I am the Atma. I am the life. Fine. Everything around depends on me. Take it at whatever level you want. But take control of your life. Fine. So the person who has taken control of life, that person is called a yogi. Swamiji, how can you say that? I am not saying. Sri Krishna is telling. Who's a yogi? 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Who's a yogi? A person who has taken control of their life is called a yogi. How do you say that? Direct verse of the Gita. Yogo bhavati dukkha. For such a person, yoga will happen. For whom? For the one who has taken control of life. So what are the processes in life? Processes in life are four. One is food. Whatever we take in is food. Second is manifestation of our energy, which is work, expression. Third, entertainment. Fourth is sleep. So the one who's taken control of food, control of sleep, control of work, control of entertainment, such a person is called a yogi. So what is the practice? First, please take control of your life. Swamiji, sleep is out of control. Food is, don't even tell me, out of control. Work, don't even ask me. It is in the control from everybody else except me. Starting from the government to my little children. I don't control my life. If you can't control your life, who will control your life? So people who are not yogis, right? They have two options. One is they are a slave to the environment. So that is called a bhogi. Okay? They are so engrossed in enjoyment, so they are called bhogi. Or they are victims of the environment, they are called a rogi. But you cannot be a yogi. So simple, start taking control of your life. According to what? According to dharma. According to dharma. So dharma tells us this is how you can manifest your potential. Then practice it. I take control. So what is it said? They are in me. I am not in. Work from freedom. Work from independence. Not from dependence. Work out of happiness. Not work for happiness. Work from fulfillment. Not for fulfillment. Application. Work with joy. Not for inspired work. I am looking for inspiration. Be an inspiration. Not look for inspiration. They are in me. I am not in them. I am independent. See what freedom we get? Amazing freedom we get. So work from the standpoint of freedom. Gurudev, nobody can make Gurudev dependent on them. Correct? So when Gurudev started his work, I've heard of that particular story. And this Gurudev has said in some talk also. Remember, I belong to the Himalayas. Understood? I am not dependent on you sitting here. I have come for you to learn. I can go back anytime. Work with freedom. How will freedom come when we are not dependent? Physically or emotionally, when we are not dependent, when we are fulfilled, then we can be free. And be free means be fearless also. So self mastery is what is mentioned. So wherever we have dependency, there start practicing independence. Discover independence is the practice. Starting from morning coffee. Starting from amount of sugar in that coffee. Start from there. Become a master. So what happens? I'm not dependent on them. They are dependent on me. Today's level of dependency is unbelievable. Please remember, more the luxury and comforts, don't think you're becoming free. Today we are not free from mobile. Right? Don't think mobile is a matter of great, what do we call that, achievement and comfort. It has made us dependent. Chat GPT today. Today, this generation As yet, we are not dependent on ChatGPT. We can write our own poems. We can write our own essays. We can be original today. 10 years down the line, we will not have the power of originality. We will not have the power. Understood? Today, poem books are being written as compilation of poems by ChatGPT. You're not creative. Yesterday, previous generation, even our generation, we knew the phone numbers and we used to dial the phone numbers. Today, I asked somebody, please tell me your phone number. He said, I'll give you a missed call. You don't know your phone number? One number. We used to know 200 numbers. We have not become better off because of the phone. Please remember that. We become dependent. Do not allow dependency to take over your life. So practice independence. How to practice independence? That is called vrata. With the technology. Okay? Practice vrata. So what is vrata? Whatever I am dependent on, living without it is called vrata. So today, Ekadashi vrata, you can do mobile vrata. Actually, see, earlier there was no mobile, so they didn't mention mobile vrata. Earlier they had only rice and maybe sweets or maybe eating. So they said not eating is a vrata. You don't be dependent on eating. You can live independent of eating also. But today, mobile phone can be vrata. So whatever we are dependent on, take it as a vrata. We become independent, we become free. I am dependent on talking. I cannot be without talking. One day, practice moment. Become independent. So like this, when I am very dependent on this person. Do things without that person. You people can afford it. You can send that person to India. Swamiji, I don't like you. Next satsang, I will not attend. You are giving very bad ideas. Become independent. Not replacement. Huh? In the sense of, I've sent my wife home. Now I am calling Swiggy. No. You cook. You are independent. That is power. Independence gives us power. Independence gives us freedom. Become emotionally independent. Give love. Give love. Not ask, nobody is loving me, nobody is recognizing me. कितने साल से मैं कर रहा हूँ. Tamil has a, I don't know. There are so many wonderful languages. Each language has its own flavor, That flavor you won't get in some other language. Even food also. Right? Certain food made in a Tamilian way, you cannot get that in a Gujarati way or a Sindhi way. Sindhi food, you cannot get that flavor in other ways, right? Like the Tamil has certain terms. Okay? Only Tamilians will understand what I'm saying. இவ்வளவு வருஷமா In the sense, I'm piling garbage, working like a garbage person, okay? So many years I'm working like a garbage person, serving everybody. Nobody recognizes me. If you are filling garbage only in life, what will come out? Garbage only will come. Think about it. Work from independence. I do because I love. I don't expect anything from you. That is freedom. I don't expect recognition from you. Now see what you can do to me. Because I expect recognition, I am dependent on you. I don't expect your recognition. Correct or not? Physical terms, let us say you are dependent on your husband or your wife for your morning coffee. I'm giving very simple examples. You can translate it. I give very simple examples. You can translate it. Fine. So because you're dependent on the morning coffee on that particular person, you keep looking for that person. Correct or not? Right? Ayyo, this person has now gone on tour. What do I do for my coffee? I'm dependent on that person. And the coffee is dependent on that person's mood also. Right? So many factors are playing. Okay? So one level of independence is I make coffee. Now am I dependent? I'm not. What is the highest level of independence? I don't want coffee. Now you are free. आपको जाना है जाओ, आपको रहना है रहो, मुझे कॉफी नहीं चाहिए. See, is this independence or dependence? It is independence, and still when you get coffee, you can enjoy it. Enjoying coffee is not the problem. Dependency on that coffee is the problem. So don't depend. You become independence gives us freedom. And you work out of freedom. Coffee mila, badhiya. Coffee nahi mila, badhiya. Become free from everything like that. So we will work out of joy. We will work out of happiness because I'm free. For very practical reasons, for very practical issues. You can only give what you have. Okay? You want your family to be happy? Then you have to be happy. Only then you can give happiness to your family. I am very miserable. I expect you are contributing misery to the family. How can you expect happiness in the family? Right? So independent. So the point is what? Very mundane, very practical application of Maya Tatamidam Sarvam. They are in me. I am not in them. Fine? And the highest level is what? We are not two. It is only one. The same divinity operates in everything. That is called oneness. So we don't see any kind of difference. In our body, each part of the body is completely different from any other part of the body. Correct or not? In shape, in functionality, each one is different. And yet, we see the oneness in all of them. That is a beauty. They are not separate, they are not different, they are one. So which part of your body are you willingly ready to give? No, why? Because I see oneness. Which part of your body are you ready to nourish at the cost of another part? Every part I will take care. Which part of your body are you ready to hate, dislike? every part of the body I love. I don't dislike. I wish it could have been in better shape. That is there. Right? Sometimes Madhya Pradesh is bigger than Uttar Pradesh. Right? So we wish it could have been in a better shape. But I don't hate it. Why? Because it is me. So too, I see oneness. They are not different. Entire world is not different. Everybody is one. To see the commonality is to practice. They are not in me. Why? There is only one. So like that, we practice in each and everything we practice, seeing oneness. So their well-being is my well-being. My well-being is their well-being. They are also people exactly like me. Their happiness is my happiness. Seeing oneness. Like that we practice. Okay? I think so much is enough. We have taken. Initially we thought we'll cover the whole chapter, but then it's okay. So please see what is practical. At transactional level and at the highest level. What is practice to be practiced? So we said dependency. This dependency at the highest level becomes dependency on the I identity ego. So there it takes us to meditation. Here we talked about identity of the body and coffee and simple things. There it is I. Who am I? What am I dependent on? What is my identity? Ultimately. So there, am I a man? Am I a woman? Who am I? That takes us to Ramana Maharshi. Who am I? So there, in the state of meditation, when I'm sitting in the state of meditation, I even drop the I identity. I am that absolute. Okay, so from here to there, the same principle follows. I am big, I am great, I am small, I am insulted, I am whatever. None of that is your identity. My identity is I am the other. Like that it works. And I think enough. Good. Questions?
When we say that don't identify with your BMI, identify with the real needs.
Yes.
So what? The practicality you just explained to me, don't identify with the demands of the body, mind, and intellect.
See,
Is that the way we have to?
first, very important thing, until we realize our own self, we cannot live without an identity. Because either we have realized or we have an identity. That is what is the fact of the matter. Only in deep sleep, I have forgotten my identity. Every other time, I have an identity. The question is, what identity do you want to keep? That will determine the thought processes, that will determine the lifestyle. Fine? So what is my identity? Whatever you want to keep as your identity. I am a businessman. So everything will follow, I am a businessman identity. Correct? Suddenly one day I became father. Correct? My child was born, I took up the father identity. Right? From then on, all my thoughts, all my actions follow that identity. So whatever identity we define for ourselves, our life gets molded into that. What identity do you want to keep? Keep the identity, I am a seeker. Fine? So Shri Krishna told Arjuna, hey Arjuna, be a seeker. Performing the role of a warrior. Even in the war, seek the highest. Understood? Don't fight for your likes and dislikes. Fight for dharma, which is the highest. Understood? In that you will evolve. Fine? So I am a seeker performing other roles as a support, as an investment for my seeking. So what is my seeking? I am a seeker. I am seeking Bhagavan. I am seeking the highest. Fine. So what is my work? Whatever be the occupation should lead me to the highest. So practice what Maya Tadamidam Sarva. Practice Matstani Sarva Bodhani in your business. Practice Najaham Eshu Avastitaha Matstani Sarva. Practice that in your work. Practice that in your family. So everything becomes spiritual. So that is the identity we have to choose. So we cannot give up identity. Choose the identity and divinize the identity. So relationships become divine. Transaction becomes divine. So that is called spiritual life. Practices become divine. Sri Krishna did not tell Arjuna, go sit and meditate. He said, fight with the right attitude. You will reach the highest. No? So the identity has to be of I am a seeker. That's all. Yes.
Last week we learned this 22nd and 23rd. So Gurudev has explained in that Ananya, the two, that is one is without the separation, and another one is without another. Is only one single point in mind, and this can be shifted for a materialistic point of view to the day-to-day living, where these Bhagavan gives these three conditions that Ananya Chinda and that
Nitya Abhyukta.
Nitya Abhyukta, and also Edana Pariupasana and Nitya Abhyukta. So these three things, once you put in, then Bhagavan gives the yoga and Chema. But if I am doing it in a perfect fashion, that is, as Gurudev explains, that have the goal perfectly fixed and then do whatever you can to towards it, and then have self-control. If these three conditions are there, so most of the some situation, for example, I get what I that particular task which I'm looking for, then I forget God. I think that I have done this. How to come out of this?
See,
that Bhagavan is giving the Vahami Aham yoga and Chema, I should feel. So,
see, as you said now, the principles are the same. For any attainment in life, if we do Ananyajanta, Nitya Viyukta, and Pariupasana, we will attain that. Fine. Mahabali attained greatness because he had all the three. Hiranyakashipu attained greatness because he had all the three. Right? Ravana attained greatness because he had all the three. Correct. Hanumanji goes to meet Ravana for the first time. He is arrested. He is taken to Ravana's court. He is seeing Ravana for the first time. And you know what he says? He says, wow, brilliance. Ravana is the epitome of brilliance. He's sitting there. So much tejas he's got. So anybody who does these three will get their result. So the question is, what result do you want? So that is said in the 9th chapter. Bhagavan says, people worship different gods avidhi purvakam. In each of the worships, I am only giving the result. Right? In each of the worships, I am only giving the result. But they don't know that I am the one who is giving the result. And I am the ultimate result. They don't know. So they seek different results from different gods and they attain that. Right? So some people go to politicians to get power. So we have politician Devata and we invoke the politician Devata and we get the power which the politician Devata can give. Some people go to the businessman Devata, right, for let's say wealth or money or whatever. Those businessmen give them the tips and the blessings for getting the wealth. So whatever we go and seek from those people and we put in that kind of effort, we will get that result. So Adi Shankaracharya ji, in commenting on that particular verse, he says something amazing. He says, Bhagavan Krishna is expressing his despair. Right? Akrosham pradarshayandi. He is expressing his despair, saying the same effort which you are putting in to attain those limited things. And you're getting those limited things. The same effort, not more effort. If you put in on that unlimited, you will get the unlimited. You don't have to do. Imagine the effort somebody is putting to become a doctor. Correct or not? Study. How much effort? First is the NEET. No? Study. And I thought NEET is the ultimate thing. That is the beginning. And then I studied 200 pages a day. A doctor, to become a doctor, he studies almost 150 to 200 pages every day they study. For me, to finish a novel takes 1 month. They read 150 pages a month. How much effort? Bhagavan says, so much effort you put in the infinite, you will get the infinite. So the point is what? What am I seeking? Right? Keep Bhagavan as your ultimate seeking. So what is my identity? As he said, I am a seeker. First point. How to practice this? You have to come to the 12th chapter. Fine? 12th chapter will tell you that. Either think of Bhagavan in the beginning or think of Bhagavan in the middle. If you forget in the beginning, if you forget in the middle, at least think of him after that. What do you mean? Think of Bhagavan in the beginning in the sense, I am Bhagavan's servant. Whatever I am doing for Bhagavan. Example, the ambassador of a country. Right? What is that? Foreign Affairs Minister. Fine. Minister of External Affairs. Who am I? I am India. I am India talking to Dubai. I am not Jai Shankar, individual talking to another person there. I am India talking to Dubai. Right in the beginning, that is the understanding. Fine, I forgot that. Remember in between, remember that all the power that I have is given to me by him. Middle also I forgot. What to do? After you finish, you get some result, offer the result at Bhagavan's feet. So either remember in the beginning, or remember in the middle, or at least remember in the end. That is the whole idea. Fine? That is why in the 11th chapter, and the 9th chapter, when you study the last verse, Manmana Bhava Madbhaktaha Mam Yaji Mam Namaskuru Mameva Ishyasi. So keep Bhagavan in the center of your life. Fine? And that is why we have that kind of vratas also, right? The Gujaratis families, they have that, they keep Bal Krishna in their house. Right? And for them, Bal Krishna is not one Bhagavan, one deity. Bal Krishna is part of their family. So every day Bal Krishna has to be given bath in the morning, has to be given breakfast, lunch, dinner. When Bhagavan is there, you can't close the house. So certain houses have not been locked for decades. Somebody has to be at home. When you have a dog at home, what happens? Life becomes dog-centered. Correct or not? Right? When I go, what will happen to the dog? So be God-centered, not dog-centered. Every moment I start, God. Every moment I go, God. Every moment I go, God. It's called Ananya Chintan. Fine? Another thing so amazing is Bhagavan is like Vamana. He doesn't ask for too much space. You give little space, after that he will take care of everything. Right? You just give little space and you see. He'll occupy the entire space. That is the glory of Bhagavan. Any thought. See, this is psychology. Yeah? I was coming on the flight. I was seeing the movie Inception. What is Inception based on? Same what Bhagavan is telling as Krishna. Place a thought, the thought grows. And the thought becomes big. What is that? Vamana avatar only. That is what it is. One thought becomes big. So the whole point is, let our life be Bhagavan centered. All the time remember. That is how. So to finally conclude, certain practices have to be done exclusively. As sadhana, when we talk about sadhana part, certain practices have to be exclusive. The rest can be inclusive of other activities. See, for example, you want your body to be extremely fit. Let's say you want your body to be extremely fit. We need a time of the day exclusively for exercise. Fine? Apart from that, you can include healthy exercise habits as part of your remaining day. For example, instead of using washing machine, you can wash your clothes with hand. That also is exercise. Instead of driving to the supermarket, you can walk to the supermarket, buy and come back. That is also, that is incorporating exercise into your daily routine. But if you want real benefits, great benefits, you have to give exclusive time. Same way spiritual also is like that. You can include spirituality in your daily routine. Keep Bhagavan in your car. Before you start the car, you do namaskar to Bhagavan. You're remembering Bhagavan. Right? When you're driving, what is the music you play? Correct? Aigiri Nandini Nandita. You're making the drive spiritual. So that also is to be done. But exclusivity is also to be done. So your morning or your evening, sometime you have to give exclusive time to what you want to achieve. Right? So if I want to achieve good physical fitness, exclusive time also I should give. I should also give inclusive time. If I want spiritual benefits, I should give exclusive time and I should give inclusive time. Exclusive and inclusive should integrate, should match. Right? Exclusively, I am doing exercise. Inclusively, I am doing the opposite. That will not work. Both should integrate. I'm just giving the principles. So you can decide. And to whatever extent we do, so much benefit we will get. Okay? In the 8th chapter, Bhagavan says that everything Bhagavan has said, 8th chapter. Or in 8th chapter, he says something else, but in another chapter, he says, Swalpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahado bhayat. Even if you practice a little bit, you will get big benefits. Swamiji, I have only 5 minutes. You give 2 minutes, no? You sit for 2 minutes. Those 2 minutes you do, you will get its benefit. What is the use of meditating for 5 minutes? Who said there is no use of meditating 5 minutes? You meditate for 5 minutes. Regularly, meditate for 5 minutes. It will give its benefit. And what's its benefit? It will become 10 minutes. Because you'll start enjoying it. And you'll get the depth. And suddenly you will find I'm sitting for 3 hours. Meditation will develop. It will give the benefits. Same way exercise. I've got only 5 minutes. 5 minutes you do exercise. It will give its benefit. Right? That's all. Exclusive and inclusive self. Both. Thank you. We close?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for everybody who was there online. And of course, I did not see the online camera because you're talking to everybody here. But it's very, very nice that all of you were here. Thank you very much. Hari Om, Hari Om.